This is the Relevant Podcast.
It's episode 1149, and it's the Relevant Podcast. Here in Orlando, I'm your host, Cameron Strang, and joining me from Loverland, Virginia, it's Jesse Carey.
Hello, hello.
From Nashville, it's our managing editor, downtown Emily Brown.
Hey, y'all.
And from LA, you know him from Social Club Misfits, it's Marty.
What's up?
Happy spring break, everybody.
Is it spring break?
You guys, Jesse, you were just up at the beach house, weren't you? Like with buddies?
No, next weekend. My wife was at the beach house, but yeah, that's next weekend.
Got it.
And yeah, but the menu is already going around on a text thread. It's a lot of Doritos, Oreos.
Wait, you plan out the snacks? A group of guys plans out
We have
snacks?
to know who's bringing what, because once we're there, and we're not leaving.
No one's leaving.
Yeah, and so
I appreciate that game plan.
because there has been years past where everyone assumes the other person's bringing something because it is dudes, and you just show up and you're like, well, I thought someone was bringing Doritos. I can't be expected to bring them. So we're doing that right now. But
why don't y'all do the once y'all get in town, just go to the grocery run together?
I mean, we could, but it's kind of fun just to not go anywhere, and it's March Madness is on, so we don't want to leave,
Oh, I know.
The whole point is to stock up as if it's the end of the world for a weekend,
How do you decorate it?
Huh?
The snacks, are you decorating it all? Like, how they have those, like, they have like a full court situation where you can like separate each the Doritos.
Are you theming
and then, like,
your
dips.
snacks?
Yeah, like
to
I
the
saw
weekend?
one the other day. It was like for the Super Bowl. It was a whole field separated, and it was like circles.
I think that's when crafty
Hobby
creative
Lobby
wives
sells
are
it.
involved.
No,
I do not think the guys are
we
doing that.
try to avoid dishes in general. Like, it's just straight out of the bag.
That
It's
sounds
just,
about right.
Yeah, I think there's 6 or 7 of us too. Yeah.
You're all catching COVID.
I've been at a beach house last few days here with my son and one of his buddies. We did the grocery run when we got into town and literally just bought all containered items, like canned sodas, junk like that. We haven't used one cup, one dish all weekend. It's been great.
That's the most like boy thing I can think of.
Right,
Like,
yeah.
and I hate dishes too, so I get it. But like, it is like impressive. I remember my brother and his friends in high school. They really would get so creative with what they would make as bowls or plates instead of just an actual bowl or plate.
What do you mean?
Like, I mean, I remember them. They would eat a whole bag of chips or something, and then just reuse that bag of chips for other things.
Like what?
Like they're using the bottom of the pizza box to add stuff. They don't want to use real plates, right? It's like anything they could do to like preserve water flow from the washing machine.
What would they put in the chips bag though?
I feel like one of them used it as like a bowl for like ramen or something one time. Like it was like honestly kind of impressive. Disgusting, but impressive.
I was going to say, that's...
They also were teenage boys. Again, keep that in mind.
I do, but like my main thing is laziness. Whatever is least amount of effort at any stage.
Absolutely.
Recycling a bag is effort.
Too much thought. Too much effort. No question.
Again,
You want to toss it, right?
my strategy is at the end, there's a couple yard bags come out and you just sweep your arm across the table, dump it all in, huck it in a dumpster on the way out of town and never look back. And it doesn't even have to be your dumpster, just behind like a grocery store or something,
100%.
That's a strategy.
Totally. This is no segue, but Jesse, you did not reply to the group chat yesterday where you appeared at Emily's church. Did you see this?
I did reply.
Okay,
you did?
He replied. I think he liked the picture that I sent.
That's a reply.
Oh, okay.
I also threw out a ha on somebody's comment. That's a reply. I was active on Threads. I was more active texting this weekend than I have been in a long time. I usually never text anything to anyone. But Cameron got a text and reshared it with other people because I met a big-time celebrity at a gas station, and I had to send it to Cameron. I had to send it to somebody, so I was like, Cameron would appreciate this.
I did appreciate it, and I thought to myself, you know who else would appreciate it? The other 3 guys in our group chat. So I posted in the group chat for you.
Yes.
So
I was at a 7-Eleven with my son, and I was walking out, and who's walking in but Lamar Odom? And not only is he very recognizable
Chloe's ex-husband?
Yes.
Not only is he very recognizable from his stint with the Lakers as well as his stint on Keeping Up with the Kardashians.
Court TV.
And his stints at brothels.
TMZ.
But either way, he was also wearing a purple suit that was leather with a t-shirt that had his own face on it. And it was awesome. He was
making his way to Atlantic City.
And he was wearing 2 of his Lakers championship rings. And when he was walking out...
Well, he could get robbed for those.
He had also several bodyguards with him. When he was walking into the 7-Eleven, I was walking out. I was like, are you Lamar Odom? He goes, yeah, man. And he dapped me up with the fist with the Lakers ring. He actually... I briefly touched the Lakers ring.
Was it left or right?
It was left. Right, I think it was left hand.
Because usually you dap him with the right, so he really just wanted to flex.
He went
on you
out
really
of his
quick.
way to dap it with the championship.
Which fingers were they on?
Are you sure he's not just left-handed?
It was pinky and ring. It was pinky and ring.
Why do they always do that? They always stack them like they start this way. Why do all athletes stack them from the pinky on?
It was a cool move, and I asked his bodyguard when he was in there buying his sundry items from 7-Eleven. His bodyguard was standing out front. His bodyguard was standing out front, like guarding the door, so no one could come in while Lamar was there. Right?
No way.
And I was like, "Hey, man." I was like, if it's a big deal, don't worry about it. But can me and my son get a selfie? You know, my son's a big basketball fan. And the bodyguard looks over at Lamar, who's inside, and just with a glance, I got the approval. And he came out, and I was trying to take it. And he was like, no, let him take it. So the bodyguard took my phone, snapped a couple of pictures, and he looks down at my son Noah. He goes, yo, kid, you like Kobe? And Noah's like, yeah, of course I like Kobe. He goes, I played with him. And then he got in the van and drove away. I don't know why he was here. I don't know why he had an entourage. Again, I was at like a 7-Eleven right by the beach, and that was it. He's gone just as mysteriously as he appeared.
Had to be that like Pharrell was throwing like a spring break party or something at his house.
Yeah, because it was like about blocks from Pharrell's house. So it
had to have been that. But like, why are you going to Pharrell's house in a purple leather I get it, like you're purple,
you
fine.
wouldn't?
But the shirt with yourself on it, that's the thing that's
was
cool.
his mugshot?
That's
like
a
Trump
choice.
thing with the mugshot? What was it?
It was only kind of peeking out of the leather suit, so I didn't didn't get good eyes on it.
This is mugshot with one eye like this. Like,
Cameron, you can see it in the picture.
I know. I see it. Yeah.
Lamar Odom.
I do like the fact that I did bring up the fact that you were on Jumbotron screens at Emily's church yesterday, and you poo-pooed that.
Yeah.
No,
to
I
talk
wasn't
about
poo-pooing
Lamar
that.
Odom.
One-upped it.
No, I wasn't poo-pooing that, but I feel like I don't know. I always feel awkward when I make
I knew that's why you poo-pooed it. You kind of like brushed it aside.
at church. I think I understand the context because it's not the first time something like this has happened. But go ahead and break it.
No, this has happened hundreds of times, but
So Scott Harrison spoke at our church. He's the founder of Charity Water. He was doing, it was very moving, but the best way to describe it is like a TED Talk about what Charity Water is and what they've done over the years and things like that.
And I'm sure your church gives to Charity Water on the missions budget,
we give
sort of
Charity
thing.
Water. So that's why like they wanted to, this organization we partner with, they wanted us to hear more about it. It was great. I cried. It was wonderful. But he was talking about different ways that people have raised money over the years. And he was like, so-and-so raised money and climbed a mountain. So-and-so skydived. This one's my favorite. Jesse listened to Nickelback for 168 hours. And then he does the clicker and I see Jesse's face, but like 10 years younger. And everyone laughed, but I was laughing for a very different reason because I was like, oh, I know this man. And so then we're like walking out and I was talking to my friend, we were talking about, and I was like, yeah, I know the Nickelback guy. So that's my claim to fame now is I know
impressive.
the Nickelback guy.
I'm sure
That's amazing.
It
carries a lot of clout.
If you could have said over a weekend, I met Lamar Odom and took a selfie, or I got to tell people I knew the Nickelback guy who briefly made an appearance at a church event on a screen. I think you got the good deal there. Scott has made that presentation. I have gotten one time, I can't remember who it was.
Scott gives that presentation 200 days a year, and he's done it. He's done it for the last 10 years. Jesse has been the tent pole of the talk.
He did it.
It would have been cool if Emily was like, listen, that guy, the Nickelback, He's actually with Lamar Odom right now. Like if she like kind of combined the both of them to the pastor, and everyone's like, "What? Like who is this guy?" Yeah. Oh my gosh.
In case you wonder how he's doing great. Check it out. He's hanging out with
Lamar Odom. He's wearing
right
purple.
Now.
They're both matching. Like the story starts to evolve. They're both wearing leather, purple, soft butter Lakers colors. Jesse's in gold.
Jesse got to
Lamar's
wear
in
the
purple.
ring.
Yeah.
Basically, Jesse.
2 fingers.
He's won multiple championships with the Lakers. That's Jesse has at this point. I don't know if you guys heard about it. No. One time, I can't remember who it was. I got a text, and it was from like the Apple headquarters where Steve Jobs would walk on stage and do like the product unveiling, and Scott was doing it there for a bunch of Apple people, and I was up on the big screen, the same screen that like debuted the AirPod. Wow. My face was on for briefly, and people
crystal clear.
And a lot of people laugh. A lot of people are laughing at, not with, but that's okay because I'm the sucker that did that. Now, you guys
back then, Jesse didn't have an official headshot, and so we were getting a ton of like international media requests when it was happening, like during the week long of listening to Nickelback 24/7, and they were requesting from Relevant. They were requesting photos of Jesse. And we didn't have an official photo of Jesse. So I just went on his Facebook and grabbed this like goofy selfie where he's whatever. And we sent that over. And that is the photo that has now been.
I think you're holding an
it's
iPad.
It's his Facebook from.
Yeah, listening to Nickelback. Like
that's hilarious.
There's a new film out called Hate to Love. And it's about it debuted at Toronto International Film Festival a few months back. And it's about, I don't know if you guys have seen the trailer for it, but it's about Nickelback. And it's about how they're like they were at the most hated band in the world, but it's also follows them. Like they were heavily involved in the making of the movie. And I did not get a call for that film. I feel like even if I could have just had like a 5-minute little talking head, like the new caveman commercial, like the Gecko ones, where they're making have you guys seen that campaign?
Yeah. Yeah.
Where the caveman gets asked to be involved in a documentary, and he thinks it's about him, but it's really he's just like the bitter person talking about the rise of the gecko, not the caveman for Geico. I could have been that, just this bitter person that was a little asterisk in the story, but I didn't get a call about the film, and I feel like I don't know how good this movie.
It's because Nickelback was involved, and Chad hates you.
He does.
And
hates to love,
and that's why he doesn't want to shine a light on.
I don't want that legacy to be spread from what you did.
The movie's called Hate to Love.
I blame the Australian shock jock VJ who tried to swindle. Yeah, like tried to like do a thing like a Jerry Springer. We're like, and now let's bring out Jesse when Chad Kroger was on the show, and then they brought you on, and Chad was having none of it. I blame. Exactly. I blame that DJ.
I blame everyone but myself. I take zero.
Spotify for letting me listen to the music.
I take zero responsibility for my actions and place all the blame on everyone else.
You raise thousands and thousands of dollars for people to get clean water.
Somewhere there's a well
Chad can get over it.
East Africa that is pumping water daily thanks to Nickelback. So there's that.
And you.
It all worked out.
Well, we have a great show in store for you today. Coming up later, we talk to one of my longtime heroes. Tim Tebow joins us. Gator great, NFL quarterback, and doing amazing things today. We mainly talked to him about that last part. At the end of the show, it's March Madness week, as you know, and so we do our very own bracket, but it's got a little twist. Mascots only. It's a mascot showdown of the actual teams in March Madness this week. Yeah, that's going to be fun. But stay tuned. Right now, up next, it's Slices. You're listening to Goth Babe and Surfaces. The song is Mexico. Today's podcast is brought to you in part by Mercy Ships. Globally, 5 billion people lack access to surgical care. In sub-Saharan Africa, there's only one surgeon for every 200,000 people. Mercy Ships provides free, life-transforming surgeries for people who have little to no access to medical care. They help the blind see, straighten twisted limbs, remove deadly tumors, treat cleft conditions, and so much more. With state-of-the-art hospital ships, they provide safe surgery to children and adults living with treatable conditions, and it's completely free of charge. They do all this work with an all-volunteer crew of professionals who donate their time and talents. Surgeons, stewards, nurses, engineers, and more make the world a better place. Your donation today provides free, safe surgeries to people in desperate need of help. All gifts are matched, so please donate today at mercyships.org/relevant. Okay, it's time for
Slices.
What do you have, Jesse?
All right. Well, I have a very disappointing story that I'm bringing to everyone, but I feel it's my responsibility because I've covered this beat so exhaustively over the years. In the UAP UFO world, everyone was very excited because they were a lot of people were anticipating that we were finally getting official, what they call disclosure, that the government was going to tell the public what they know about these strange vehicular craft that are seen going underwater and flying around so in the UAP whistleblower world, this was a big few weeks here. And last week, the Defense Department released their official report after investigating all of these claims of secret government programs, of crash retrieval programs, reverse engineering products, all this fun stuff. And I'm going to read from the Wall Street Journal report. A lengthy Defense Department review of U.S. government activities related to unidentified anomalous phenomena, more commonly known as UFOs, has found no evidence that extraterrestrial intelligence has visited Earth, have recovered crashed alien spacecraft, and are hiding them from the public. So after they released a 64-page report basically stating over and over again, like, I don't know what everyone's talking about here. We don't know anything about this. And they were even had lines like this that some people, some of these whistleblowers, they were just confused because that they would learn about secret aircraft that had a cool name and assume that name was an alien sounding name. Yeah. So it actually said, this is a line from the Wall Street Journal. A person who claimed that aliens were present during a materials test had likely misunderstood a conversation, which probably referred to, quote, this is from the report, a test evaluation unit that had a nickname with alien connotations at the specific installation mentioned. So this is all just a big understanding. There's no aliens. There's no reverse engineered craft. People were just been confused about what they've been seeing. So this isn't super surprising that the government is basically said full denial. But the interesting part is there are people who, under the threat of perjury, have testified before Congress that they've been involved with what they believe is the reverse engineering of off-world craft. Now, I'm not saying I totally believe that, but I do think the blanket denial of any knowledge of such technology, I don't necessarily believe that either. So it's another interesting wrinkle in sort of the UAP, UFO.
I don't understand this because, like, I'm literally at your recommendation and actually, ironically, my mother's recommendation. I'm watching the Secrets of the Skinwalker Ranch right now. Like, for real. Like, and they have like scientists out there like doing like studies of like these unusual phenomenon and like recording data of like aberrations and frequencies in the atmosphere and then sightings. And they have it on stinking film. Like, you're sitting there watching it happen. And like, how can they? And then obviously the Navy pilots and footage we've seen and stuff, like, how can they say, nope, you didn't see that?
Well, because that's what they do. Well, and you speak
of gaslighting, government gaslighting.
And speaking of Skinwalker Ranch, I mean, prior to the hands of Brandon Fugel, who owns it now, who's a Utah real estate developer,
He's a weirdo.
It belonged to a guy. He is kind of a strange guy. It belonged to.
He's like, this dude was a nerd in high school. He had no friends, but now he's rich, so he pays people to be his friends.
But prior to he purchased the ranch from a guy named Robert Bigelow, who is a defense contractor who was actually paid by the U.S. government to conduct research on Skinwalker Ranch. I mean, this isn't conspiracy. This is documented.
Yeah, it's fact. It's in the show.
So, but again, we're at a point where, despite people within defense institutions openly saying, we've been involved in this under, like I said, under oath. The latest is just blanket denial from the Defense Department. So all I have to say is, if you're looking for official answers from government officials anytime soon, those likely aren't coming. So
if you want official answers, just watch Secrets of the Skinwalker Ranch every Wednesday night, available on
sponsored us.
There's a
right
great
at this
book.
point.
There's a great book for anyone who's looking, American Cosmic by Diana Pasulka, who is she actually started off in like religious studies. She's a religion scholar at Wake Forest, but she became very interested. Can I go on a little aside here real quick? I feel like this would be interesting for our audience. So she was studying miracles that were documented in the Catholic Church and doing like a big dissertation. And she happened to sort of recognize all these like commonalities in them. And she started comparing them to more modern, like quote unquote encounters people have had with what they perceive as aliens, and found a lot of striking commonalities, burn marks and light in these abduction stories. And actually her hypothesis is, and she actually, in the book, a defense contractor who is high up in NASA actually finds out about her research and takes her to what she believes is actual crash retrieval sites. This is someone who works with the government, who agreed to be part of the book under the guarantee of anonymity. Basically believes that something, she doesn't necessarily think it's like space aliens, but maybe something like Christians would perceive as, maybe angels or demons or
supernatural.
That these encounters have been happening.
There's other realms.
Yeah, that these encounters have been happening for a long time. But those other realms might actually use some technology to go between those realms. And that's what people are seeing. So anyway, really interesting book on the topic, American Cosmic, if anyone's interested.
And that is actually why my mom was like, you got to watch the Skinwalker Ranch thing, because she's viewing it not as space conspiracies, but she's like, we believe as Christians that there are other realms and that the supernatural realm, angels, demons, whatever, have had physical interactions here on Earth. So why would we not think that there's portals or places that, there's transfer between the two realms and physical experiences in the natural realm of supernatural beings or activity? She's like, I'm watching it as a believer going, oh, that's awesome. Those are angels flying around or whatever. Yeah. I mean, she's not being that trite about it, but so it doesn't have to be like scary, ooby boo, whatever, like, little green Martians or whatever. It's just like, as Christians, there's a lot what does the Bible say? We know in part and we see in part. And it's like, let's just lean into that and be okay with it. Yeah. Like, we have limited knowledge of what's actually reality, Anyway.
I do think it's funny that like people who have always kind of believed in aliens and UFOs and stuff 2 years ago, or up until 2 years ago, they were still thinking that. And then, or I guess last year, the government started coming out saying, like, officials were saying, yes, we've seen this stuff. We've known about this for 100 years. And now they're trying to deny it. I feel like people who believed in aliens the whole time are like, I don't care. You don't have to confirm or deny it for me. I'm just going to keep believing it. Yeah. And I feel like that's what you're saying, Jesse, where you're like, I don't care if you deny it. I still believe that there's something out there.
A 64-page report cannot put the genie back in the bottle. Yeah. Sorry.
Exactly.
We've seen
like
footage.
They waited too long to try to cover up anything.
Well, and there's a long history. If you read about Majestic 12 or these other secret government operations that were, their whole purpose was to examine this for decades and decades. So it's not like, oh, we're gonna see if there's anything to this. Nope, sorry. It's like, well, no, this is something that's documented that, defense officials have been very interested in dating back to the 1950s. So anyway, it is interesting.
Fine, I'll watch
though.
Independence Day again.
All right. What do you have, Emily?
Chick-fil-A is testing a new item that will hopefully be there.
Pizza.
Well, hopefully be there soon. Oh, it is pizza.
Oh, whoa.
Why?
Chicken pizza? Yeah, chicken crust pizza.
Yeah. Is it chicken?
What's crazy is it looks like they're trying a few different ideas. There's normal ones like pepperoni, cheese. There's a buffalo ranch one, but there is also a Chick-fil-A pizza pie, which is basically like a chicken sandwich on a pizza. So it's going to be mozzarella cheese topped with Chick-fil-A nuggets, drizzled with Chick-fil-A sauce, and served with pickles.
Who's asking for this?
Yeah.
Why change a good
That's
thing?
really the big question.
Why change a good thing?
It's just funny because like Chick-fil-A, they've introduced new items over the years, but they've all made sense. Like they'll add a new shake or the spicy chicken sandwich.
I went to one in Alabama that had
Ooh.
wings. Yeah.
That would be good.
Oh, yeah. They were
They
testing
had
that
wings.
for a while.
And
I
there was
remember
one
that.
of them that had burgers too. Cheeseburgers.
That doesn't make any sense.
I don't know why. I mean,
that
you're
is-
like, you're not supposed to sell beef. Like, what's going on here?
I feel like Chick-fil-A is one of those like they should be taking away items. Like keep it as
Yeah.
simple as possible.
Simple
No,
as
I
possible.
agree.
No. Like In-N-Out, baby. Like 5
Yeah.
things. That's all they do.
Yeah, let me go 1 through 4. It's hard to mess that up. Like, sometimes you go, I mean, we've talked about this before. You go to a place like Backyard and it's the most, insane drive-through menu or cookout, not Backyard, cookout.
Cheesecake
Yeah,
Factory.
or whatever.
Yeah.
And you get this weird analysis paralysis. You're like, I don't know what I want.
Yeah. Hush puppies.
Just give me a Coke. I got to go. You know what I mean? Just keep it simple. I don't know why Chick-fil-A's dabbling in the pizza.
I
route.
will say, I can't imagine anyone pulling up and being like, give me a Chick-fil-A pizza. Like, I think it'll be a novelty thing where everyone tries it out once. And then they're like, yeah, I'm going to stick with the chicken sandwich that I know and
The
love.
seasonal one.
Yeah, I want these ingredients that I can hold in my hand in a bun. Yeah.
Yeah.
McDonald's. Well, we have the world's largest McDonald's in Orlando, and it has pizza, has McPizza.
Oh, wow.
And Dave Portnoy reviewed it, like, and is doing his pizza
Yeah,
reviews,
the one bite
and
review.
yeah, and everyone knows the rules. Yeah, so he went and he got it, and his review is essentially it's what you expect a McDonald's pizza to taste like, but it has like real pizza ovens and stuff, and like it's fresh made. It's just terrible, but nobody wants pizza when they go to McDonald's. Like, why are they doing
Pizza
it?
to go
It's
is
just
a really
novelty.
hard sell. There's a place right by me that's a drive-through pizzeria, and I'm like, they, obviously they're doing a conveyor belt, like it's a Quiznos sub, but it feels a little out of the ordinary to drive up to a drive-through, say, hey, can I have a pepperoni, sausage, and then like come in and get 2 boxes. It's just an odd concept. In 5 minutes, the line's always outrageous. Right in front of Disneyland.
It's oversaturated. We got too many pizzas.
Yeah, go to Little
We're good.
C's for the
We're
5
good.
box. Yeah, the box is hot and ready. Just go for it.
Yeah. All right. Okay. Well, Chick-fil-A, don't do it. All right, Marty, what do you have?
What's going on? All right, so Coachella announced their lineup in January. Little bit of news that we already know, but there are some difficulties right now. People are not buying tickets. The tickets are not flying off the shelf. And there's a real conversation starting right now about is it the end of Coachella? Is Coachella falling off right now? This year they have 3 headliners, and it's interesting headliners. They have Lana Del Rey, they have Tyler, the Creator, and they have Doja Cat, which is, to me, the 3 worst. And then the reemergence of No Doubt. I feel like this is a really tough sell. Here's why. This is my personal opinion. Doja Cat just finished an arena tour. She just left LA. After this show, she's going to Europe. Tyler, the Creator, he's already in LA. He has his festival within an hour of Coachella. Mm-hmm. And then you have Lana Del Rey, who hates performing. It was a very underwhelming performance, but she hates performing in front of crowds. I just feel like, man, is Coachella... Here's the real question. Is the era of festivals over? The 2011 girls are getting like Dreamcatcher tattoos. There's a lot of fringe happening. About 2011 to about 2019, is that the peak era of festivals? Is it over for us? I don't know, but I will say that tickets are starting at $600. If you've been to Coachella, you're going to spend $6,000. Just is what it is. You're going to stay on campus. The water. I mean, look at last year. Last year was also another we had Frank Ocean perform, and it was the talk of the town was not that Frank Ocean was performing, it's that he performed 4 songs and then decided to walk around. So it's these underwhelming performances. And so if you want to look at the history of Coachella was known to have, they would break out, right? So it's like, hey, Drake's going to perform and his new album just dropped. Remember, if you're reading this too late, he performed immediately right after. Beyonce, it's called, Beyonce's going to take over. It's these big acts who reveal new music. Brockhampton's last performance, all these elements make Coachella very exciting. And right now we're at the point where I think fans are kind of catching on and are a little disappointed.
I think it comes down to what we were saying about South by Southwest. Like a lot of the more successful ones, like Coachella, South by, the iconic ones, they got so corporate, so money, and it became this. It lost its soul, And like the Coachella experience, like you just said, why would I pay all this money for all this hassle when I can see these artists in other ways? I'm with you. Like to me, there's a reckoning of like those ones that kind of like sold out and got too expensive. Yeah.
The last couple of years, Coachella's relied on influencers to really sell it. And now we're ending the influencer age. And now there's another conversation. It's like, where do we take this? What's the next step for Coachella? So there's a lot of conversation on if it's going to, it still exists right now. There's still tickets available, usually would sell out the weekend, and it's not. So it's an interesting conversation to see what's happening in the music industry.
I think that what you're saying too about the influencers at Coachella really is the key to it, because like I think last year I saw so many TikToks of people just calling out TikTokers for showing up, taking a couple pictures and then leaving. So it's like even the crowd at Coachella is not fun. Like no one cares about it or wants it. So yeah, I think Coachella, I wouldn't be surprised if it goes away in a couple of years.
Oof, scary.
Too expensive, not unique enough.
One quick take.
All right.
This is more of an indictment on camping than Coachella. Like urban festivals are so great. Camping has been exposed. Camping's no fun. That's my take.
It is. You're right. There it is.
True.
All right, that'll do it for Slices. Make sure to check out relevantmagazine.com every weekday, where we are covering faith, culture, and everything in between. All right, stay tuned. Up next, Tim Tebow joins us.
I felt like a circus freak, but I'm going down swinging. I'm going down swinging. So let it rain, I'm not failing right. I can take it, give me hellfire, watch me keep my cool tonight.
You're listening to Holly Humberstone. The song is Down Swinging.
Well, today's show is brought to you in part by the new book, God, the Science, the Evidence. We talk a lot about faith, but how often do we talk about science in the same breath? You might be surprised to discover just how deeply the two actually agree. For centuries, science has been used to dismiss the idea of God, but today an intellectual revolution is underway. Modern discoveries in physics, cosmology, and biology are consistently revealing the same truth: creation isn't an accident. That profound reversal is what engineers Michel-Yves Bolloré and Olivier Bonassi investigate in their international bestseller, God, the Science, the Evidence. This book is a rigorous, evidence-based critique of materialism, inviting you to explore over a dozen scientific, philosophical, and historical domains. It shows that what was once seemed impossible, that science could point to a creator, is now supported by a vast and convergent body of evidence. With over 400,000 copies sold in Europe, this book is sparking a global debate. It's thoughtful, fascinating, and a powerful reminder that reason itself affirms the existence of God. Learn more and find out where you can purchase your copy today by visiting godthesciencetheevidence.com.
Well, our guest today is Tim Tebow. He's a former NFL quarterback, a Florida Gator great, one of the best college quarterbacks of all time, if I do say so myself. A speaker and the author of the devotional Mission Possible. We talked to him about finding a purpose that you're really passionate about and how he's fulfilling his purpose through the Tim Tebow Foundation. Here's our conversation with Tim Tebow.
You recently released a devotional called Mission Possible, and it's all about finding your mission and pursuing your God-given purpose in life. How do you define what purpose is?
What you're created for, what we're all created for. And I think in the macro that we all have the same purpose, and it's to love God and it's to love people. I think in the micro, that your specific purpose is a little bit different than mine. And all of us along the way are going to have little unique paths to our purpose. And some of the ways that we really encourage people to seek their purpose, or another way to say it could also be mission, would be, what does God open your eyes to, and what has he pricked your heart for? And that's one of the ways that I try to describe it sometimes is, one of the stories that impacted my life is when I was 15 and I got to meet a boy who was born in the jungles of the Philippines with his feet on backwards. And because of that, his village viewed him as less than, as insignificant, as a throwaway. And that day I just felt so compelled in my heart. God was just pricking my heart. He's not a throwaway to God, and he better not be a throwaway to me. And that day, my heart was pricked, my eyes were open, and I didn't know how to articulate that. I didn't know what exactly that meant. I just know I'm supposed to fight for boys and girls like this boy. And I still believe that was a big part of God opening my eyes and calling me and pricking my heart, saying, this is what I want you to do. This is a big part of your micro purpose. And so I encourage a lot of different people. What are the things that God's really opened your eyes to and he's pricked your heart for? Is it encouragement? Is it inspiration? Is it teaching? Is it discipleship? Is it a people group? Is it a hurting person? Is it a family? Is it, what are the different things that have been stirred up in your life? And maybe that's not ultimately your purpose, but maybe that can also help lead you to your purpose, is saying yes to that and continuing to go down that road.
Once someone identifies their purpose or their mission, how can they make that happen? What steps can they take to live it out?
Oh, that's a really good question. I think there are a lot of different steps, but maybe even before that is, first of all, understand that you do have one, that you really do. Like Ephesians 2:10 tells us, for we are his masterpiece, created in Christ Jesus for good works, which God prepared beforehand for us to walk in. So when you understand that in Christ Jesus, you know that you're a masterpiece, and you also know that you have good works that were prepared for you long ago. And so it's knowing, okay, I might not know what my purpose is, but I know I have one. And then when you feel like, hey, maybe this is what I'm supposed to do, I would encourage people, dive into it. And it might not be that final place for you, but it might continue to lead you on your journey, right? And you might learn from that. And I have so many friends and family members and loved ones and different people that I've been able to walk with along the way, that they've been impacted in something. They stepped into it, and maybe that's not where they ended up, but it was such a piece of their journey that was teaching them or developing them or guiding them along the way, where they might not have got to ultimately where they felt like they were most called if they wouldn't have started to take those steps. And one of the other things that I encourage people is why I think it's so important that you take those steps is because, I believe that God can do anything at any moment. But I also believe when we take those steps, a lot of times I see him use those steps in our lives to teach us. And I also very rarely, ever hear testimonies or see friends that get impacted when they just go home and turn on Netflix. I mean, God can do it. I just don't see him do it a lot. I don't see when you get into the 5th season of your next show, a lot of impact or a lot of profound thoughts or changes. And so, we all get caught up in that. I'll get caught up in some of my favorite shows too. And it's not that those are wrong, right? Sometimes it's nice to have something where you don't have to think, but I would encourage people, like maybe if we gave one of those up, or maybe especially for young people that, one study just indicated that young people right now spend more times on devices than they do asleep. Right? That's a lot of different voices, and that's a lot of things that aren't necessarily going to always be positive. So maybe if there was one show we put down, one device we put down for a little bit, and that thing that stirred our heart, we stepped into that a little bit more. I just think the odds of us learning and growing and developing more from stepping into that, it's just more likely than just being on our devices or that next show.
While we're on the topic of living out your purpose, you recently spoke in front of Congress on behalf of children who are trafficking victims because of the work you've done through the Tim Tebow Foundation. Can you tell us more about your foundation? What exactly do y'all do, and how can we partner with you on this mission?
No, thank you for asking. It's something that is just so near and dear to my heart, and it's such a big part of I believe the calling God has for me. The Tim Tebow Foundation is our mission statement is to bring faith, hope, and love to those needing a brighter day in their darkest hour of need. And we're fortunate now to do that in over 70 countries around the world. And really our heart is to go to hard places and be able to bring faith, hope, and love truly to those in their darkest hour of need, whether that is the orphan, the abandoned, the special needs, the less than, the trafficked. That is who we've been called to, and that's where we believe that God has called us. And so specifically with human trafficking, we're so honored to now have 18 safe homes and 13 that are in the process of being built as well, and to be part of teams that are constantly in education and rescues, in long-term restoration, and trying to build more and more every day. We're in the process of building a protection center in Thailand for girls who have been rescued from human trafficking, but there are still death threats. There are prices on their head, and there are people that want to silence them. And so that's a massive project for us right now. We are continuing to try to expand and get into as many countries as possible. Why we're trying to, build as many safe homes and educate as many and rescue as many also here in the U.S. as possible. Our team was just in one state a couple weeks ago, and one of my team members called and said, hey, a boy just came up to me. We're educating at a school, and he was in elementary school, and he said, where were you 2 years ago? Because what you were saying, what you were talking about, that happened to me 2 years ago by my dad. And you know what, that just, it grieves us, but it also motivates us, because it's why we have to live with a sense of urgency, because so many kids are going through a horrible, horrible form of evil, which is human trafficking. And we have to be able to stand on the line as believers, stand on the line as people that value life, stand on the line of people that value every single life, and say, no longer on our watch. We got to do something, and we got to do more. And we have to do it urgently, because just like that boy, so many are asking the question, where were you? And that's our job and our responsibility to get to as many as we possibly can.
That was Tim Tebow. Make sure to check out his devotional Mission Possible and learn more about what they're doing over at the Tim Tebow Foundation. It's really great. All right, stay tuned. Up next, it's March Mascot Madness.
Like it's the beginning, and the radio stays on while nobody listens. 'Cause I've been running the red lights. Like it's the beginning, and the radio stays on while nobody listens.
You're listening to Alfie Templeman. The song is Radio Soul. Well, today's podcast is brought to you in part by the new book, Confessions of a Christian Alcoholic. Author Jonathan Seidel knows firsthand how even believers can get stuck in shame and destructive habits, especially when it comes to one of society's biggest obsessions, alcohol. In Confessions of a Christian Alcoholic, he details his spiral into disordered drinking and shares the 4-step process he eventually used to break free. There's hope for alcoholics who become Christians and for Christians who become alcoholics. Find Confessions of a Christian Alcoholic wherever books are sold. What if you could change a child's life with just $10? Right now, thousands of vulnerable children in East Africa are suffering from jiggers. It's a painful, preventable parasite that burrows into their feet. Soul Hope is the only organization treating it through foot washing, medical care, and durable closed-toed shoes that protect kids long after treatment.
$10 may not seem like much in today's world, but when we come together, those small gifts add up to big change. Join the 10 for 10 campaign. $10 protects 10 small toes. Visit soulhope.org/10 to give now. One small gift makes a big difference. Again, that's soulhope, SOLE, hope.org/TEN.
Okay, it's time for the March Mascot Madness. This theme music is copyright CBS Sports. Okay, all the other experts are going to tell you who's going to win March Madness. That is not what we are doing. We are going to battle it out only mascots. We're not talking teams. We're not talking basketball. We are talking mano-a-mano mascots.
I have shared the screen with the cast. These are the actual teams that are in March Madness. We're doing the top 32 seeds, not all 64, but we are going head to head, mascot, mano a mano, and we will determine the future national champion. All right, here we go, guys. Jonathan the Husky versus Owlsley the Owl. Who wins that matchup?
I'm not voting for a single bird this whole tournament. I gotta go Husky.
Yeah,
I hate birds.
I don't feel like there's any bird that's taken. A husky's a big animal here.
Husky.
Yeah. All right. Jack the Jackrabbit versus Obby the Tiger.
Jackrabbit.
Tiger.
What?
Jackrabbit, get away. Quicker.
No,
A tiger is...
tiger's
This
a
is like
tiger.
that situation
We gotta
of
go
like the other guys where it's like tuna versus a lion.
Even though the tiger's name is Obby, which is a very
That's why
non-threatening
Obby
name.
feels very soft. It's declawed. You know what I'm saying?
Cosmo the Cougar versus Maroon Tiger.
I think Cosmo.
Cosmo the Cougar
Cosmo.
sounds like it could be the name of like a cocktail waitress.
Freddy Cougar.
She's a cougar. All right. Griff 2, it's a bulldog, versus Cy the Cardinal. Cardinal versus bulldog.
Again, no birds this year. This is not a good year for birds. Not a big bird year.
Okay.
Going
All right.
bulldog.
Okay, here we go. Ramses, which is a ram, versus Bully, which is a bulldog.
Bully.
A ram.
A ram.
Come
Bully.
on.
Why not Bully?
A little
He's
dog
Bully.
nipping at the heels of a ram.
Yeah, we
Here's
gotta
the
go
thing.
ram.
In my
And then a ram
mind,
can ram it.
well, in my mind, these like it's like Clifford the big dog. You know what I'm saying? Like in my mind, they're all the same size and they're just an equal fighting
I
experience.
hate to break it to you, but bulldogs are not big.
I know, but it's mascots. Like they're all big. I don't
An
know.
Irish Gale, the Irish warrior, versus Big Al, an elephant.
Oh, I take Ireland.
Yeah, I
You know what? St. Patty's Day was this
Oh, I'd
weekend.
take
I'll go.
the
with
Irish.
we might as well just go ahead and push Gale all the way to the finals because who wants to go head to head with an Irish
Dude,
warrior?
a
I
tiger
don't know
could take
much
an
about
Irish warrior?
I don't know, man.
I don't know if Shogun's having a moment right now, like that, like samurais and stuff.
Yeah.
If they followed up and it was like, hey, next season we're doing
Yeah.
one about Irish. The log line is just miniseries
in.
about Irish
The
warriors.
samurai
Everyone's
versus
Everyone's in.
Rudy
Okay,
Flyer.
I'm
I
sorry,
know who
but
I'm
if
choosing.
there is a marooned Irish warrior out in the wilderness by himself and there is a tiger hunting him, the tiger will eventually...
I don't know, man. India, they killed.
That's
They
what you
know how to
think.
get these tigers. There's something to be learned
Yeah.
about India.
Anyway,
right now.
he's going to beat an elephant. He has a spear, I guess. Okay. The Tiger, that's the mascot's name. The Tiger versus Joy the Bear.
tiger.
I'm gonna go
Jesse?
bear on this
Well,
one.
Joy the bear, the happy
Jesse's
bear.
the tiebreaker.
Bear's
Joy
name,
does throw it off, but bear. I mean, it's
if
bear.
the
they
bear's
got-
name
they have
wasn't
a
Joy,
nickname.
if
That's what those mean. It's
then
just
I
the
would have gone
tiger.
with it. Yeah.
They haven't even
Fine,
made
fine.
contact with him. It's just the tiger.
Jesse? I didn't catch yours.
Yeah, I gotta go. Yeah, Joy is too weak of a name. We gotta go Tiger
Okay,
here.
the Tiger.
It's just the Tiger.
Okay,
too.
Rudy Flyer versus Wilbur Wildcat. Rudy Flyer versus
Wildcat.
A wildcat for
I mean,
sure.
his name is
I
Wilbur,
know.
so that's tough.
He's a gentle Wilbur.
Yeah,
But also a flyer.
All right, here we go.
Come on.
yeah.
We're still in the first round here. Shasta, which is a cougar, versus Herbie Husker.
Again, Shasta, a cougar, could also be a cocktail waitress, but I'll take it.
All cougars could be
Have you
cocktail
met
waitresses.
Cosmo and Shasta? Yeah, here comes Shasta and Cosmo.
With your Cosmo. Okay, Bucky Badger versus the Blue Devil.
Sounds like we're
Devil.
talking about
Blue Devil, for
I
sure.
don't
Yeah,
know.
Devil.
Blue Devil.
Yeah,
Devil
Blue
of any
He's
color.
going to put a spell on the Badger.
Better.
Raider Red versus Scratch the Wildcat.
Scratch the Wildcat. It's all in the name,
All
baby.
right.
Scratch
Wait,
probably
Raider
has
Red has a
rabies.
gun, though.
Oh.
Yeah, but Scratch.
A Raider has a
Scratch
gun,
seems
so
like it.
I'm going to go with Raider Red.
Scratch seems like it has a disease. Like if she's like, oh, it's Scratch the Wildcat. It's like something's wrong
Like a
with him.
rabbit.
He
You
got-
guys
yeah,
going
he's-
with Raider Red?
Let's go Raider Red.
No.
He's got guns. I mean, how can you?
All right. Albert the alligator versus Iggy the golden eagle.
I'm gonna
No
say the
birds.
gold. I'm gonna do
No
I'm gonna do
birds.
the bird. I'm gonna do
No
the birds.
birds.
No birds this year, but the gold. It's golden.
Nope. All right, Gator.
And
Gator
Albert-
eats an
Oh,
eagle all day long. I live in Florida. I've seen it happen. All right, Purdue Pete. He's a Boilermaker versus the horned frog.
Purdue Pete.
No,
Purdue
boiler seems like it
like a
that
drink.
seems well. I was going to say to make a boiler seems like that's quite the task. It seems like
He's building
you know,
boilers
they're made of steel. I wouldn't want to mess with someone
versus
whose
a
job is
frog.
to make
Yeah,
boilers.
come on. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, horned frog.
Rowdy the cowboy versus Big J, which is a Jayhawk.
Listen, you could
Cowboy.
put Rowdy at the very
Absolutely,
end,
Rowdy.
right next to the one we had above that we said are gonna. Those
It's
two
two
are the-
humans fighting.
Listen,
Yeah.
listen. If you just said here's a TV show, Cowboy versus Irish Warrior, that's
Yeah.
the log line.
That's it
I'm
right
in.
there.
Okay.
Bring him to the
The
finals.
Oregon Duck.
Games.
It doesn't have a name. The Oregon Duck versus Billy Blue Jay. A duck versus a blue jay.
I mean, those ducks can go underwater. Yeah, I'd say that.
I
I
don't
think
know,
the duck's
man.
more
Blue
majestic.
jays got
Yeah.
that pointy beak. They're mean.
Yeah, but they don't. They eat seeds and stuff. Ducks
Yeah,
can
they-
swallow whole.
Duck.
Yeah, we gotta go duck.
All right.
Ducks are pretty mean.
It's got a little. Jacket on.
Caveman the Cavalier versus the Volunteer.
Those volunteers are getting
A cavalier
smashed.
versus
They're
a
getting
volunteer.
killed by the caveman.
Hold on, but a cavalier is like Three Musketeers
Saber.
versus a
Saber.
volunteer, which has got a musket. He's got the Skoonkin hat.
Oh,
He's like out there in the
Wow.
woods.
My thoughts are this: you have to
Wow.
be recruited to get the Sabers and be part of the Cavaliers, like the Musketeers. Volunteers. Anyone can just sign up for that. Give me the Cavaliers.
All right. Okay.
True.
Yeah.
Round 2. All right, here we go. We've
Wow.
got Jonathan the Husky versus Abby the Tiger. Tiger versus a Husky.
Tiger,
Tiger.
for
Here we
sure.
go.
Tiger.
I want a Cosmo versus Shasta. round,
Cosmo
but
the
let's
Cougar versus Griff 2, a bulldog.
I'm going Cosmo,
Cosmo.
just for
Cosmo
the
for
just
sure.
for the coming Shasta.
Ramses the Ram versus Gale the Irish Warrior.
Gail.
Irish
Gail's
warrior.
gonna make this. Put Gail
Gail.
to D.
All
already.
right, the Tiger versus Wilbur Wildcat.
Ooh, good one.
Tiger versus Wildcat.
I'm gonna go Wildcat.
But there's
No,
I'm
I'm
gonna go
going
Tiger because Wilbur. The name really throws me off there.
Jesse.
Yeah, we got to go
Wilbur.
the Tiger.
Wilbur.
Tiger.
All right. Here we go. Shasta, the Cougar. She's bringing your drinks. She'll be here in just a minute. Versus the Blue Devil. Shasta, the Cougar.
Kind of work
Shasta?
hand in hand, if you ask me.
Excuse me, Shasta. Can I get a Boilermaker on the rocks?
Yeah,
The Blue Devil versus Shasta, the Cougar.
I'm gonna say the devil on this one.
Shasta.
Oh,
gonna go Shasta.
Shasta gets it.
Oh wow,
Outvoted. Okay.
voted off the island.
Here we go. Raider Red versus Albert the Alligator.
Raider Red.
I'd
He's
like
got
to
a
see
gun.
the Gator.
Yeah.
Got a gun.
All right.
He's got
Okay,
a gun.
Purdue Pete, he's a Boilermaker versus Rowdy the Cowboy.
Rowdy.
Cowboy.
No, I'm
Cowboy.
going.
Rowdy is
I'm
not
going the
messing around.
Boilermaker. I feel like the Boilermaker's
Purdue
probably got
Pete?
dad strength.
But Rowdy got 2 votes. You're outvoted. The Oregon Duck versus Caveman the Cavalier.
Not fair. A duck versus a guy with a sword. It doesn't even need to be a good. He didn't even need any sword skills.
All right, Row-
Have you ever seen Purdue Pete's face? Oh my god,
That's
it's
a,
scary.
that's a gruesome matchup.
Okay, this is the Elite 8, I think. Abby the Tiger versus Cosmo the Cougar.
I'm going Cosmo. to the
Cosmo,
end.
yeah, Cosmo.
Really? Cosmo the Cougar
Yeah,
beats a
just 'cause
Tiger.
his
All
name.
right.
I'm not messing with someone named
Gale
Cosmo.
the Irish
Fair
Warrior versus the Tiger.
Gale.
Wait a second.
Gale.
You're talking about a
Gale.
human versus a tiger.
Yep.
But it,
But it's an
I
Irish
mean, an
human.
Irish warrior. That just feels
An Irish warrior. What is he fighting
That's
with?
2 things.
He's not good.
That's 2 things. They're
magic. I don't know.
Irish are known to be great fighters, and it's an Irish warrior all day.
been
I'm
through
sorry,
He's been through
but if
some
I'm
things.
seeing any human warrior versus a tiger, the tiger is winning anyway. Shasta the Cougar, she'll be right here to get your drink order, against Raider Red.
Yeah, Raiders got you. Sorry.
No, I got to go Shasta the
Emily.
Cougar.
I'm gonna go with Raider on
Emily.
this one.
It's
Emily,
a
be the
Raider Red.
tiebreaker.
This is tough.
Gun,
This is so
gun
tough.
or drink.
I'm gonna go
The
Shasta
cougar?
just because I want to see.
You're going
her
with
in
a
the Final
cougar
Four.
versus a guy with a gun. All right.
That's right.
Yeah.
Okay, all
I
right.
also don't like
Okay,
Texas Tech.
last
so-
one, the Elite
wow.
Eight. Rowdy the Cowboy versus Cavman the Cavalier.
Rowdy.
This is a great
I like
lineup.
Rowdy.
I think
He's rowdy.
Rowdy doesn't seem like a good shot. You know what I mean? Like you get a skilled
drinking.
swordsman.
He's a little too wild.
He's
I'm
drinking.
going Cavalier
Ooh.
here.
I'm gonna go Cavaliers.
Okay,
That was a
there you
good
go.
point.
Okay, now we're in the Final Four. That's what everybody's been waiting for. Here we go. Cosmo the Cougar versus Gale the Irish Warrior. This is a Final Four matchup.
I've hung with Cosmo the whole time just because.
I'm gonna go with. I'm
But
gonna
I
go
gotta
opposite.
go
I'm
the
gonna go
Irish
Gale
Warrior.
and let,
I'm
and let
going
Emily
Irish
figure it
Warrior.
out.
I think I'm gonna have to go Gale. I'm sorry,
feel like
Cosmo. I'm sorry.
Any battle is more interesting if you toss just one random Irish warrior in there.
All right, the other Final Four matchup is Shasta the Cougar versus Cavman the Cavalier.
I'm going
Cavman.
Shasta the Cougar, and my hope
Emily?
is.
I'm-
Can I tell you my hope? Real
Yeah.
quick, I'm making a case that Shasta the Cougar and Gale the Irish Warrior somehow meet during this matchup. They both have hard lives. Okay, it's Shasta the Cougar and Gale the Irish Warrior. I'm hoping they fall in love at the end. It's one big tie, and they live happily.
Wait, the cougar isn't like a middle-aged lady who likes younger men. It's an actual cougar.
No, it's Shasta. Her name is Shasta the Cougar.
She has
She's
a
about
name.
to fall in
This
love.
isn't Kristen Cavallari serving
They
drinks.
get married and have the volunteers.
Listen. She's had a tough go of it these last years. Life hadn't been kind to Shasta, but she's about to meet
She's
the love of her
scrappy.
life.
She's scrappy. She's a survivor.
Irish
You're right.
warrior.
Shasta needs this win,
Yeah, she's
so
been
we're gonna
through
go
Wait, so
Shasta.
Sha-
An Irish warrior who just had to fight his way through
No,
a
we're
bunch
not
of
there yet.
tigers and
Cavman the
stuff.
Cavalier versus Shasta the Cougar. That's
Shasta.
No, I'm gonna
Oh.
go Shasta.
Shasta.
She's
It's
got
gonna
a
be
chance at
Shasta.
love.
Now-
It's gonna be Shasta versus
championship is Shasta the Cougar versus Gale the Irish Warrior. That's where we're at. That's the NCAA championship this year. Who takes it?
I think she's going to win his heart and therefore win the tournament.
What about you guys?
The old hard
Yeah.
warrior
Gale the Irish
who literally
Warrior.
had to.
Versus a cougar.
How do we know Gail's not a
It's
girl?
so hard.
Gale is an Irish man's name. It's
Okay, then yeah, it's Gail.
Gael.
I think I'm gonna go
I'm
Gale.
going
I'm sorry,
Shasta.
Shasta.
So we have Gale.
I'm gonna go Gail too.
Gale the Irish
Gale,
Warrior
Gale.
wins the NCAA tournament.
Oh, the
And
Irish.
that school is St. Mary's College. That's who you guys have picked as the
Why not?
future champion.
Where are they ranked right now?
Listen.
Just for giggles. What is it
not
ranked?
high.
And also, Cam, why on the right is your Google picture? Is that your son or Justin Bieber?
Oh, yeah, my
Justin
Gmail
Bieber.
icon is a very young Justin Bieber wearing an Orlando Magic hat. That's
Good.
the picture.
As one does.
Yeah. Anyway.
Okay.
All right, there you go. That'll do it for March Mascot Madness.
Before we wrap things up, I want to thank Tim Tebow for joining us today. Make sure to check out his devotional Mission Possible and find out all the stuff they're doing at the Tim Tebow Foundation and get involved. It's great stuff. Also, make sure to check out issue 114 of Relevant. It's out now, featuring everybody from Rainn Wilson and Need to Breathe to Mike Todd and Brooke Lidgerwood. It is a packed issue and it's available for free. Just click the magazine tab over at relevantmagazine.com. It's presented for free thanks to The Covenant, available now on Apple TV. All right, on that note, we'll wrap things up. I'm Cameron Strang.
I'm Jesse Carey.
I'm Emily Brown.
I'm Marty.
We'll see you on Friday. Have a great week, everyone.
Thanks for listening to the Relevant Podcast. Check out our features, interviews, and news updates every day at relevantmagazine.com. And make sure to follow Relevant on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram for the latest. For more great podcasts, browse the shows on the Relevant Podcast Network, which you can find at our site. And while you're there, don't miss the all-new era of Relevant Magazine. A new issue releases every other month at relevantmagazine.com.
And then he got in the van and drove away.
Relevant Podcast Network.